Hey there, welcome to the episode 100 celebration of the Women's Business Workshop podcast. Woo! I am Robin Walker, your host and business coach, here to help you get strategic and grow your business. I've been running businesses for about the last 20 years, and I've seen small business change and evolve over time, especially over the last 4 years. This podcast started over 6 years ago, and I'm excited to celebrate our 100th episode. So today we're going to talk about some of the best advice that I think we have gotten here on this podcast with the first 100 episodes. I want to thank all of you that have followed, subscribed, and listened to me chat, interview, and teach in over 100 episodes. As a thank you, I'm giving away one spot in our Impact Mastermind group for next quarter. To enter, just fill out the form in the show notes by September 23rd, 2024. This is our quarterly planning mastermind group that you've heard me talk about in this podcast many times, and we meet twice a month online for business goal setting, accountability, and community with other business owners. Check out the show notes to enter. So this podcast started as a way for me to feature the speakers that were going to be at my annual business conference. I loved connection, conversation, teaching business, talking. So it seemed like a good fit for my business model and personality to have a podcast. Turns out I love it. However, it took me years to get over hearing the sound of my own voice. And if I am perfectly honest, I'm not over it and I do not love it. But I'm getting to the point now where I can hit publish and I just know that I have put my best effort out there. I hope it finds the people that need to hear the message. And it's just something that comes with having a podcast. I don't know if any of you other podcasters out there can relate with that, or business owners when you do your own video. It's just one of those cringy things to have to hear your own voice. The other roadblock that I had at first is that at that time, most of the people in the business space that were doing podcasting seemed to be publishing on a very rigid schedule. I knew myself well enough that if I promised an episode every Tuesday at 8 a.m., I would start to feel pressured and trapped. You know, the whole don't tell me what to do, even when it's myself that's trying to tell myself what to do. I didn't want to force out an episode if I didn't have something I felt like was podcast worthy that week. I wanted the freedom to base episodes on the ebb and flow of my business, and I wanted to be able to take a break if I needed to. Podcasting is very personal and requires a lot of creativity and mental work, at least it does for me. Giving myself permission to publish on my schedule when it felt strategic and valuable has made it more fun and has been the thing that's made it possible for me to keep going for 6 years. Do I have a publishing calendar and a strategy? Of course I do. It just may not look like other business podcasts, and for me, that's okay. This leads me to our topic today. Some of our best business advice in our 100 episodes is coming up, and the first one is from episode 79, and the message I want you to get out of that episode is to be yourself. Authenticity is a driver when consumers are choosing where to spend their money. Consumers want to support real people. More and more lately, people really want to support real human beings, people that have values we align with, people we can trust, where we know that our dollar is helping someone else, whether they're in our community or not. It matters more and feels better than buying from large faceless corporations. And this is the benefit of being an owner-run business. You are the brand, my friend. Whether you want to be or not, you and your people are what people are choosing when they bring their money to you. You and your uniqueness and your personality and your experience is your brand and is the secret sauce that makes your brand and your business stand out. It also helps you have a unique position to be able to serve a certain clientele. And I know it feels easier to be everything to all people. And I know most of you guys are past that and you've already found your niche, or at least gotten a little more specific on who you serve and how you serve them. However, just remember that you are the secret sauce. Now, this does not mean that you don't ever try anything new and you don't try anything out of your comfort zone, because if you want to do that, that's fine, but you will stay right where you are. If you're looking to grow your business, you are going to have to go out of your comfort zone. But I wish that was one thing that I could fast forward for a lot of business owners, or have them learn the lesson sooner, that you are what makes your business unique and you can create it the way you want to create it. If it is making money and you're reaching your profit goals, then you don't have to do it like anyone else. But like I've said before, we want to follow best business practices, have strategy, have intention, and have our businesses aligned. But it is, in the end, your business, and truly being yourself is what will make the difference. Okay, let's move on to the next lesson. And this was in episode 94, Your Circle is Your Superpower. Being around like-minded women who also run a business is so incredibly powerful. And often you don't realize what you're missing until you have it. A lot of business owners are really trying to do it on their own. And once I see them join a group or come to one of our events, the feedback I get is that they didn't realize that they were missing the camaraderie of other small business owners. Maybe you're getting it in little bits here and there at different events now and then, or you have someone that you message regularly, but having like-minded women that are also in a similar phase of business or phase of life as you are can really make the difference. The thing it will show you, if you're in the right rooms, and this is going to resonate with some of you, your ambition is healthy. So many of you listening are so driven and so ambitious. I don't want you to let less ambitious people slow you down or make you feel like you are overdoing it. Now, there's a couple of you out there that are overdoing it, and I do need to remind you to take vacation days and take some time off. But many of you, this is what drives you. This is what you love about being a business owner, is that you do get to control how often you work, what you're doing in your day, and what level of drive you can have. We will let your therapist or your business coach help you determine if your load is too much, but not someone who is not on your level. And we just had a very similar conversation in the impact group. It's like when you are pregnant and everyone's telling you how hard it's going to be to run a business, have a baby, have kids, how overwhelmed you're going to be, which, by the way, that doesn't help anyone. So I never understand why people do the just wait. Doesn't help. You need to find the people telling you that you will still be able to run your business and the work will feel good and satisfying, and you will enjoy your time with your baby. We had this exact conversation in Impact recently. Business owners are a different breed. You don't need to apologize for being driven or ambitious. I believe that you can be driven in your business and be humble and generous at the same time, while valuing and honoring your family time. When you're in the right room, you are going to get the validation that your drive is important. You're going to be in a room with other people also sharing about their drive and how they can get things done and keep things balanced. The women I work with prove this time and again. It takes planning, delegation, and investing in your own support, but it is possible. It is harder to do this if you are trying to do it all yourself and DIYing your business. And we've all gone through phases where that is what we have to do. But if you are in a space where it is possible for you to put yourself in a room with other driven business owners, you need to take the opportunity to do so. You need your people. This is why one of my main offers as a business coach is a small group mastermind. I can do one-on-one coaching with people. You can go to events, but the deeper conversations, the vulnerable business owner conversations, the peer support, you can't just get that anywhere. You may not even realize that you're missing it because you do talk to other business owners, maybe at chamber events or you go to networking events, but I can guarantee you those conversations are on the surface. They're a great place to start. It's a great place to get some connections, some referrals, start the relationship. But make sure you have a space that you can really be a vulnerable business owner. You can ask for help. You can ask for support. You can ask for feedback in a space that feels safe to you. It is so crucial for your business owner mindset and for the enjoyment in your business and frankly for your sanity. Number 3 is from 3 different episodes. There was a running theme from episode 27 with Jenny Schubring and episodes 84 and 93 with Rebecca Malotki-Meslin. And the thing running through those 3 episodes is asking, is it fear or is it your instincts? As business owners, we can get so caught up in our own heads, overthinking decisions or making impulsive decisions. It's really hard to differentiate sometimes if what's holding you back is something you're fearful of, whether that's fear of failure or the financial investment, any of those things. Or if it's your instinct saying this is a bad idea, it's really hard to tell, honestly. So what can help with this? And you've heard me say it a million times. You're going to be like, okay, Robin, I know. Having a plan, a strategy, a solid business plan, updated financials, clear contract systems, having those things set in your business helps you make decisions and stick with your decisions. So I had a client that was just starting out in their business and they were working with a certain type of corporation, and she kept asking about pricing and said, well, they have this budget, so I have to give them a package at this budget. They only pay by mailing a check 60 days later, so I guess that's the way I have to do it. And so then that set off a whole conversation about boundaries, setting up your process. And she was newer, so for her, it felt like I have to take this if I want this client. So we talked about that scarcity mindset. And I understand when you're newer, it feels fearful to turn anyone away or risk not getting the sale. However, it is her business. She gets to decide if they need to pay a deposit or if it's a 30-day turnaround or if they have to pay online. So we did talk about how she could have those conversations with this client, how she could set things up, the questions she could ask so that they either met in the middle or so she could approach this in the future with, this is how payment is given. This is the expectation for payment. This is not received until this deposit is received. But you get to make the rules. You get to decide going into a new agreement what your terms are. You don't have to just take everything that you get, but often that fear gets in our way. But there are other times that our gut tells us something is not a good idea. I think the best way to really work through that is with a business coach, with a life coach, with your therapist. Having a professional outside person that knows the questions to ask to help see what is behind it all. And when you have those systems and process and boundaries set up ahead of time, you can make the decisions so much easier. And that's something I've worked on with clients, is having a script, having things in writing that you can say on a phone call or an onboarding meeting so that you feel confident in setting these boundaries. And I'm not saying to make everything so crazy that no one's ever going to work with you, but you can find a middle ground of a process that you feel comfortable with that also is agreeable to potential clients. But just keep in mind, you don't have to let someone else make the decisions for your own business. You are working from a place of good intention and mission and purpose. But I'm going to remind you, data matters. Not every decision is made 100% on data, of course. But having your data, having your financials complete, being able to look back on information from past years or past months, that can help you make decisions. That can help things be rooted in fact versus fear or guessing or emotion. So moving forward, I want you to pay attention to the times that something feels scary, or you're wondering, is it fear or is it my instincts? I want you to pay attention to what it's in regards to. Is it always about your price, or is it always about a certain type of client? Is it always about a certain step in the process? Start noticing when you feel that, so that then you can assess, is that thing something I need to be working on? Is that something that doesn't have enough boundaries or doesn't have enough systems or process in place? Is that something I have no KPIs for? And so that's why it feels scary, because I feel like it's just a guess that I'm basing the whole decision on. So moving forward, just pay attention to that. Start a page in your journal or a Google Sheet or just something where you just start to jot down when you do start feeling that fear or scarcity or limited mindset, any of those. It's great to have a journal where you do note those things so that you can see if there's any trends. All right, moving on to our last one. And before I do this one, let me just tell you, if you haven't gone back through the old podcast episodes, obviously there's 100. This is the 100th episode. But there's a lot of different topics that you can go back through and listen to that maybe at the time when you went through it, your business was in a different place. So I would suggest going back through and scanning the last group of episodes and see if there's one you missed or if there's one that would be a good fit for where your business currently is. Also a reminder to go to the show notes and enter to win a free quarter of the Impact Group. The Impact Group is going to give you that circle that we were talking about before, getting in the room with other business owners and having that vulnerable space where you can really be yourself and talk with other business owners. So that is in the show notes. So I hope you guys go and check that out. All right. So our last one isn't really from one specific episode. It's really what runs through them all. And it's that I just need to remind business owners, strategy is important. I know it sounds like, duh, of course it is. But I come across businesses every single day that I can tell within 5 minutes that they are not thinking critically when making daily decisions. They may have a business plan, and if you don't, we need to talk. But even with a business plan, they're leaving so much money on the table by not having a strategic plan for the little things. Recently, I went to a local event at a restaurant, like a networking event. The owner had an opportunity to speak to the group for a couple of minutes. You can tell that he did not have a plan for how to use this event strategically. There were some simple things he could have done throughout the lunch so that by the end, he had completed Google reviews, happier customers, and potential referral partners. But instead, I left personally dissatisfied, confused about their business identity, and honestly, I probably will not return, let alone refer people. One strategy session would have made that event a different, more converting event for him. So ask yourself when you're coming up with just daily decisions, little things, email, posts, events, why am I doing this? What am I hoping to get out of it? What is the ideal outcome from this business activity? And then how can I make that outcome happen? How can I encourage it? How can I make it easy to get that outcome? It's just some simple questions that if more business owners ask themselves these questions on a regular basis, they would be converting so much faster. I have a bunch of past episodes about very specific areas of strategy, if that would help you. Some about networking and in-person events. There's one on business card strategy, one on sponsorships. If you have to host booths for any reason, there's one on booth strategy. You guys are beyond just throwing things out there. You are the leader of your company. You should be using your CEO time to be creating the strategy and optimizing your business opportunities. Some of you are doing so much in your business that you're leaving the strategy to chance. And if you're wanting to grow your business, you just can't do that anymore. I know you guys are multi-talented. You can do everything. I've seen it. You guys are doing it. But if you want to grow, you need to move into that CEO position and be doing strategy as much as you are the other things. If you've enjoyed this episode and you have business friends that would benefit from hearing it, would you please do me the honor of sharing about the podcast? You can find an easily shareable link on our Instagram or Facebook accounts and in our stories and also on LinkedIn. I appreciate you helping me get the message out to more small business owners. You guys are the absolute best. Now go get out there, make some noise in your industry, and grow that business. This is your last reminder about the Impact Membership Spot giveaway. See the show notes and enter by September 23rd, 2024. If you're ready to join us for next quarter, you can go right to womensbusinessworkshop.com/impact. Once registered, we will get you on the calendar for your included one-on-one business analysis session to get you started.